What's this one? What's the contract price on this one?
I think it's like $114.9.
So you know that though.
Yes.
How do you know that? Do you?
I have to have the contract. That's part of the requirements. They send me once they send me the order, they also send me the contract. Right.
Now we can. I got 100 questions.
Okay.
Because it's in. You already know the contract price. You cannot unknow that. So, I mean, that's got to, no matter what kind of I'm not going to try to get you in trouble either, but no matter who you are, you know that, and you can't unknow that, so it has to factor in a little bit something.
I know what you're saying. I mean, but on the other hand, I need to know the contract, because there's always, seller paid concession. There's, what's required. Maybe somebody's requiring certain things to be done, and I need to know all that, as part of doing the appraisal. So yeah.
Since you know the contract price, and it shouldn't factor into the appraisal at all, correct? Or should it?
Technically not. However, if you have a person that's got a contract on it, the assumption is that you've got a knowledgeable buyer that's been out looking for, properties, and they've been out looking and they see, okay, well, this is worth, so 90% of the time that's going to be a knowledgeable buyer. So that does weigh that you've got somebody that's willing to pay that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to appraise, but there is somebody out there. And a lot of times, people say, the best appraisal is what somebody's going to pay for the house, and so a lot of times we're just trying to,
validate.
Exactly. Validate that and let the bank know that, you're fine loaning that. There's value there. You're okay.
So this is a split foyer.
Exactly.
Can you explain briefly what the difference between a split level and a split foyer is?
Yeah. Basically, a split foyer, they're all just like this. The foyer is split. When you walk in, you either go up or down. And so the foyer is right in the middle of the house. A split level is typically you come in on the first floor, and you'd come in right up, you'd be walking in just like this, and then you're going to go up to the second floor. It's just half the house.
You're going to go up about 4 or 5 or 6 stairs, and then underneath it, you're going to go down about 5 or 6 stairs.
And typically on a split level, only that part that goes up is the only part that has the basement underneath. Typically, sometimes
and the rest of it's probably crawl or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense. Nothing in the neighborhood is sold. That's the problem.
That's a problem.
So talk about that, Bruce. Like, if nothing in the neighborhood, which obviously we're not going to have any kind of problem over here.
Right.
But if you go into it's in a neighborhood and nothing is at all is sold in the last year and a half, 2 years, what do? You got to go outside the neighborhood. You can't. You'd rather go outside the neighborhood than go back in time.
Yeah, actually, guidelines won't let you go back over 12 months. Most lenders now, what they will do is, if I did that, I can't find something, in the neighborhood. I go outside the neighborhood, try to find something as close, as similar as possible, and then I may use as they want 3 comparables that are within 12 months. A lot they prefer within 6 months, but so your first 3 comps will be in date. They might be a little bit farther away, but then you might put a 4th and 5th comp in from the subdivision just to show what the subdivision has done a year and a half, 2 years ago.
So you'll go on that 4th or 5th one. You'll go back 12 months or 18 months.
If I can't find one right in that area, that's probably what I would do, is throw another one in there. You don't have to, but everything, the more you do up front, the less questions you get, behind. So, if I just turn that in with 3 comps that were 2.5 miles away or whatever it might be farther, the underwriter might come back and go, we want something closer. We want something. And if you just address it at first and say, there is nothing closer, however, I'm going to use this one that's an older, it shows values in the subdivision, that type of thing. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Not that I want you to talk bad about your contemporaries, but what do you, like, if there are inconsistencies in appraisals, why would there be, does it come down to experience?
A lot can, and it's really, there's so much subjective stuff that it's somebody's a lot more conservative than somebody else. That plays into because there's no set guidelines like what I adjust per square foot. I've just done this because I've done it for so long. I know this area, and there are some formulas that we work just to kind of check us, and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But it's still up to me to decide what that dollar amount is, and somebody else, it's their decision. So there can be differences. Now, one of the issues, and I just ran into this recently, is banks getting appraisers from outside the area to come in and do an appraisal, and they don't know the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I've had that happen. I had a particular bank in town call me last year, and somebody came in. It was a Mountain Brook house, and somebody came in and I think it was about a $600,000 or $800,000 house. It was a nice house, and they came in from like Pell City and did this Mountain Brook house, and they came in at like half that value.
Wow.
Just had no clue what they were doing, and so that they should have never taken the order because they didn't know the area. But so sometimes things like that can happen. Somebody doesn't really know that area, and they shouldn't be doing it. So
you used a really key word a minute ago. The word subjective.
Yeah.
How much? And I know it's hard to pinpoint, but what would you feel like? How much is subjective?
Well,
I'm not trying to imply that all of it's subjective, but
right,
how much is there?
There's different, like just say, for instance, in the adjustments per square foot, that type of thing. In this area, if somebody were to use $25 or $30 a square foot, and somebody might use $30 or $40 a square foot, that might be on the upper end in this particular area. So that could be, for that particular adjustment, that might be a 10 to 15% difference, depending on that particular. I'm not talking about the whole appraisal value, but that's for that particular area. For guys that have been around for a long time, there's certain things that, like, some guys have a rule of thumb that you might do, like 30% of the value of what it costs to do it. Like say if somebody put a deck on there, and say it was $8,000 deck. It might be, it's adjustment of a couple $1,000. Yeah, it's not, because you're not going to get dollar for dollar what it costs to put it. Now, if it's new construction, that's a little bit different because it's brand new, and that's what you're going to get charged, what it costs to build it. But when you're talking about a house that's been there for a little bit, it's not going to be, if it costs you $5,000 to put a deck on there, you're not going to get a $5,000 adjustment. It might only be $1,000 or $1,500, that type of thing. So, but that's what I think, and then what somebody else thinks, and and like I say, there are some formulas. There's without getting too, there's a thing called paired sales analysis that we can plug in and give you an idea when you just plug in a bunch of comparables in a certain area, and you try to find all the same stuff, but maybe it's all the same except for a deck and except for a fenced yard, and then you try to figure out exactly what somebody paid extra for that particular item. It gets kind of detailed, but it kind of just to give you an idea, for us an idea, okay, well in that neighborhood, this is roughly what people are paying extra for. Good deal.
So that's it, huh?
That is it. Simple as that.
It's really, so this is, you said earlier that this really isn't the hard part.
No, this is the easy part.
This is the easy part, coming out here, you measuring, trying to get your eyeballs on what there is to compare to something else.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And then when you go and actually like pull the comps that you find, I guess really all you can do is look at pictures, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, we do go out and I can't go in them, but we can drive by them. We're really supposed to drive by them and take pictures of them from the outside. But having them on MLS, that gives me, I can look through I look at thousands of pictures, to see, just to compare them. Yeah, that's exactly it. So
well, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that's it. That's the inspection part of the appraisal. Hopefully you guys got some really good information out of this, and we're gonna do another video here in the next week or so about the paperwork part of it and actually digging into that side of it, which might be a little bit more involved, and show how to pick them, how to pick the comps, and such like that. But this is it. I hope you guys learned something, and we'll see you soon.